Because the document says the student failed English and is required to go back and sit for English 222.
This case of Tinubu's certificate is more than what you think. Yes, it is more than what you think. I said this in the other video I did, but I edited it out because I'm not yet very sure. Now, you need to know something, because some people are telling you a certificate was contracted to certain people, contracted to these people, or outsourced to this or outsourced to that. There is a fundamental thing you didn't understand about the whole story. And that is what I'm about to tell you. And I will show you a video too. You know, people who don't understand what is being said, and they allow one particular person, maybe Reno or Mokri or Fanny is not lending his voice on this matter, but you need to understand what is happening. That Tinubu may not have graduated from Chicago State University. There is a difference between I joined the university, but the case of did you finish your studies there? So to them, oh my God, no certificate was issued at all. Actually, that is the thing. No certificate was issued. So he has to forge a certificate. That is where the article people are going to. It is not that he was, he had a transcript. No, no such thing as transcript. That is why they are hiding certain things. And I believe there will be more uncovers. He was not issued a certificate because you have to go through the process to get a certificate. But they are telling you, oh, he has a transcript. Of course, he can. Okay, the other day, Chidoka was arguing, and he was being fair in that argument for the sake of the two parties, opposition and his own party. He said Tinubu would have presented the transcript, while trying to process his certificate that he was to tender for INEC. But in this case, you need to watch this video. There is no certificate. He may not have finished from that school. See this video and we'll be right back.
Tinubu was admitted in Chicago State University in 1977. Now, with respect to whether or not Chicago State University issued a diploma to such a student in 1977, the registrar said no.
That's what he said?
Yes, that's exactly what he said. Because when Atiku's lawyers drew his attention that have you ever seen a copy of this certificate that Tinubu presented to INEC in Nigeria as a qualifying certificate to contest election, his answer was, I have only seen this certificate in the course of the proceedings in Nigeria. It is not on our records in Chicago State University. And we cannot certify that we issued this certificate. And that is true. Because if you look at the documents released to Atiku, particularly document 0026, it speaks volumes as to whether or not that said Bola A. Tinubu actually graduated from Chicago State University. And why do I say so? Because the document says the student failed English and is required to go back and sit for English 222. And there is no further record to show that Bola A. Tinubu went back to sit for that particular course, which was a requirement, a condition precedent for admission into Chicago State University. Mind you, the Bola A. Tinubu, who in one instance is female, in another instance is male, what was presented as the qualifying certificate for admission into Chicago State University was a GCE certificate purportedly obtained from Government College in 1970. And Government College Lagos, which is supposed to be the issuer of that same certificate, was not in existence up until 1974. And if you look at the subjects that are contained on the GCE certificate, it was physics, chemistry, and biology. There was no mathematics and there was no English. and the requirements for you to graduate from Chicago State University is that you must have a credit in English and in mathematics. So if you look at the deposition documents, particularly document 0017, document 0026, document 0027, document 0028, document 0029, and document 0032. They speak volume about the said Bola A. Tinubu, who was supposed to have been a student of Chicago State University, but who never qualified to be issued a certificate because he never graduated from the university. It is possible for a student to go to a school because education is a process. Now, you get admitted, you undertake lectures, you write exams, you do for higher education, you do something like maybe a long essay or a project or a thesis or a dissertation. Upon the completion of all of this, if you have passed every subject, then you're issued with a certificate evidencing the fact that you were a graduate of this university.
Do they issue certificates? Or because what I learned is that the certificate is always issued once. And
no,
whatever
upon
you
graduation,
ask for,
upon graduation,
but
you
when
are issued with a certificate. Now, in 1979, no certificate was issued
at
to
that
any
time.
Bola A. Tinubu.
No certificate.
That's what the registrar says. That's what they said. No certificate was issued. And
But
if you look at the type of certificate...
Sorry, please,
yes.
let me ask this. The registrar admitted that Bola A. Tinubu attended the school. Attendance
is one thing. Graduating from the school and earning a certificate is another different thing altogether. Education through the university or through that is a process. It's not an event. You can be admitted to ABU Zaria today for a 4-year program course. You can do up to the 3rd year. You can do even up to the 4th year. Now, if you have carryovers, you are required to go back and remedy those carryovers. Now, in this case, it was not even carryover per se within the university. There were deficiencies in the entry qualification which were detected by the Chicago State University, which the student Bola A. Tinubu, whoever he was or she was directed to go back. If you look at that deposition document 0026, if you want, I can read exactly what document 0026 says. And I'll put it to say, you have not passed the English qualifying exam, and the credits that you have previously earned in composition will not be recorded on your transcript until you have passed the examination. You should enroll in English 222. A passing score on English qualifying examination has been required prior to admission into any major or professional program for students admitted into the university as of September 1975. That particular precedent was not fulfilled by that candidate. So no certificate was issued. And that's exactly what the registrar said. So any coloration, any interpretation that is different from what is on the records of the proceedings in the Chicago court is not what is available on record that to be used as evidence in court. So that's the correct interpretation. That certificate wasn't issued. And if you look at, there are several other errors on the certificate, which I need not point out. These things have been in the public domain. But this particular one, it's important that this point is made, because it is not even the attendance of the university that Atiku is before the Presidential Election Petition, or was before the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, or is appealing to the Supreme Court. Atiku is appealing to the Supreme Court on the basis of the provisions of Section 137, subsection 1J, and Section 134, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act. The earlier reference refers to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which says that no candidate shall be qualified to contest for election as a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria if such a candidate has presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. So it is not a question of attendance. Granted, Bola A. Tinubu attended Chicago State University. The question is the certificate that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today, as it is, presented to INEC to contest for the 2023 general election, was it a valid certificate issued by the Chicago State University? The registrar has said no. We are not aware.
So where are the information that we are getting that the registrar gave it a pass that what Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted to INEC is actually coming from their school?
Ejoma, the depositions in court in Chicago are available everywhere. These documents have been certified. They have been published. And so any other interpretation that is skewed to make a misrepresentation to the public, it's simply because the public itself is not paying attention and reading exactly what the documents are. I refer you to this day this morning. This morning's headline was bold that Chicago State University registrar denies knowledge of the certificate Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, presented to INEC. So there is no confusion at all. In law, we say res ipsa loquitur. The facts are on the face of the document, and the facts speak for themselves.
Okay.
So that is it. The register said no certificate diploma was issued to such candidate in 1977 or 1979. Such certificates not on CSU record, that's Chicago State University's record. Such certificate is only seen in Nigeria, in the Nigerian space, probably from Oluwole, the popular Lagosian Oluwole. And what was issued to Article 0026 was what was issued to Atiku. And the document said the student failed English and required to receipt. Yes, that is for the person to finish and get the certificate, but not the person did not turn up. So it's not joining a school that matters, but finishing the school. And when you finish, you get your result, you get the certificate. So those who did not sit for exams cannot get their results. That is it. So according to a guest, Tinubu presented a GCE certificate of a school that was not in existence in 1970 from Lagos. He said the school was in existence in 1970. Meanwhile, the school was established in 1974. Oh my God, so many problems with his submission. The case of variations in age, variations. We have at times it said the Tinubu is a female, this and that. He did not meet the requirement. There are requirements for you to get a certificate. If you don't meet that requirement, you cannot get a certificate. So don't be deceived by that he went to the university. Yes, did he finish? Did he merit getting a certificate? That is what you should ask. They said he was supposed to be a student, but was never qualified. He did not meet the requirement for that certificate. He was not ever qualified to be issued that certificate. He did not complete the task, the process. So that's to say, no certificate was issued to Bola A. Tinubu. Such a person did not get certificate from Chicago State University. And according to these gates, it's not a case of a carryover. The case of a carryover is even better. You have several carryovers. It's even better. But this case, he did not finish. There are so much deficiencies with what has to do with his schooling in Chicago State University. This case is a worse case than carryover. He did not meet the preconditions. The requirement was not fulfilled. So Tinubu's case is worse than what you think. Forget what the Reno, Omokri, and the rest of them says. If you understand the document that was given to Atiku properly, and this document was under oath, he did not finish up. And Section 137, subsection 1J of the Nigerian Constitution totally disqualifies him. And also Section 134. He has been disqualified unless the Nigerian Supreme Court will not be functional. And some were saying these were not among the prayers Atiku submitted. Atiku's prayers. The guest has explained it. More evidence can be brought to the Supreme Court. He gave 3 instances, and he also quoted several cases, this versus this. You can actually submit such, and it is in Atiku's prayers. Actually, Atiku wants to know what certificate he presented. You know, this has been lingering, but it's only Atiku that has maybe the powers or the financial muscle or what it takes to stretch it with him, and we have come to that. Atiku did not even get the Tinubu certificate at Chicago State University because the presenter asked him, can the certificate be issued twice? What Atiku got was the sample. The university said they never issued such, and as such, they don't have it at all. They don't have what to issue to Atiku. That's to say, he never qualified for such certificate and it was never issued. Only those who played the ball will lick the orange. So what Atiku's team collected was what looks like the certificate, or what it will be what would have been issued if he had completed. So it's somewhat like samples. It's also very different from what Tinubu submitted to INEC. So there is a lot of wahala. Viewers, this is where we round up. Add your comment, tell us what you think. Please share this video widely. When the Tinubu's team were saying that if those such documents were given to Atiku, that it would do a great damage, you are beginning to realize what they are trying to avoid and why they had to linger around in the United States, going to almost 3 appeal courts trying to get judgment to stop the university from giving the documents to Atiku. You should understand why now, and why they approached Atiku's lawyer to delay in the deposition. They want to buy time. Meanwhile, more uncovers. Thanks for watching.